Last question, what is my body count? What did most of your mission consist of? Are dudes manscaping out of SUT or other military schools? Or are they just letting that shit grow wild? Best and worst GB you've worked with. Guys, we are lacking heroes in this country. People that are worth emulating. People that my son could look at and say, you know what? I want to be like this dude. But no, we have these dumbass politicians. We have these movie stars, these athletes that we cherish and we look up to just to find out they're a bunch of dirtbags. So who can the youth truly look up to and emulate? No one, right? So we're going to start our own tradition over here on this channel, guys. We're going to create our own hero building machine. Every Wednesday, I'm going to introduce somebody new to you that's done some incredible shit that's worth emulating. Today we have Zach Beal. We call him Wobbles whenever I was on the team with him, right? He is a Green Beret that made the ultimate sacrifice and gave his life for that of his teammates. Awesome dude, grew up in Virginia. If you are lost and you need somebody to look up to this dude, man. Follow his path, become a Green Beret, become a soldier, and do amazing shit for your country. Every Wednesday, guys, we're going to celebrate a hero. If you know any, send them to me and I'll feature them on the show. Firefighters, policemen or women, coaches, players, just regular day-to-day people that's done some amazing things. Just send them to me. I'll look up their story and I'll feature them on the show. With all that said, guys, let's start answering these questions. Question number 1. From your experience with Side A's, do they see combat downrange with ODAs? Yes, from my experience, as early on as 2010 with 3rd Special Forces Group, we've always had Side A's attached to us. And everywhere we went, those guys would come with us. They got shot at, they shot back, just like the SF guys were doing. So yes, if you are a Side A attached to a Special Forces Group, you will see combat. Next question, guys. Prior service, served in the Army, 12 Bravo combat engineer, just like I was. Any way to jump straight into SFAS. So the fact that your prior service probably mean you got out. More than likely, you have to join the military, sign an 18 extra contract, which will take you through that process. And then once you're done with SOP-C, then you can go to selection, hopefully get selected, and then start the pipeline. Next question. Do you do any firearms training in PA, New Jersey, or the Delaware area? No, so I don't do any firearms training at all. I just like to go out and shoot, but that is not something that I am actively doing, all right? Next question, guys. Best and worst GB you've worked with. Right, so when it comes to Green Berets, I don't really believe in guys that are either the best or the worst, right? SF guys or SF guys. Once you make it through selection and you make it through the pipeline, you're a Green Beret. And based on where you go, based on your leadership, that'll influence the kind of Green Beret you become. So I don't believe in horrible Green Berets. I believe in shitty leaders. Because at the end of the day, even the best Green Berets coming out of the pipeline can end up being a dirtbag if he has the wrong leadership. So again, I don't believe in best or worst GBs, but I've had some shitty leaders that I can tell you has turned Green Berets into dirtbags. All right, let's read the next question, guys. What are your top 3 courses you took as a Green Beret that helped better your skills as a killer? All right, so top 3 schools that I went through as a Green Beret. Number 1 will definitely be SIFSIC, or Special Forces Sniper Course. Number 2 will be SFAWIC, right? SFAWIC is a team-based shooting school that we go to learn how to clear structures, right? It's a CQB school. I didn't go through SFARDIC, but I went through SFAWIC, which is the next step down. Next would just be level 2, right? Level 2 is a school that we go to learn how to do spy shit. And that opened my eyes to a whole different realm of possibilities as far as what SF guys can do, right? So I hope that answered your question, all right? Let's check out the next one, guys. Are dudes manscaping out of SUT or other military schools? Or are they just letting that shit grow wild? Bro, you gotta let it grow, man. No one has time to be manscaping out of SUT, SEER, or while you're out there doing work. You just let that shit grow, and when you get back, you just braid it or do some weird shit with it, right? But yeah, we don't shave when we're out in the field, man. All right, going on to the next one, guys. Could you do a video about land nav courses that are at selection and share any tips that you might have? Yes, so I do have a couple of land nav videos on the channel. One going over pace count and 2, breaking down how to conduct land navigation, all right? So just scroll to some of the earlier content and you should be able to find that video. Moving on, guys. What were your run times / pull-ups when you were in? All right, so guys, I've always hated running. Me and running have never been friends, right? I run as fast as I can run so I can stop. Why? Because I've always been a lifter, right? I've always been in the gym, picking heavy shit up and putting it back down. So while I was in, guys, I was right around 14 minutes, 14:30. Prior to putting on all this weight, you could catch me on my best day at 13:30. Pull-ups, I eat that shit up, right? 20 plus pull-ups at any given time. Even right now, I can knock them out without stopping, right? I love doing pull-ups. It's an exercise that I do every day when I'm at the gym, right? Next question. What was the first 6 to 12 months for a new guy like on an ODA? Hazing, growing pains, yes to all of the above, right? Guys, you have to understand how a special forces team works, how any team works, whether it's football, whether it's police academy, fire, like it doesn't matter. As a new guy stepping into a profession where lives are on the line, no one owes you shit. No one knows who you are. No one cares about what you can do and how you can do. All you're there to do is shut up and observe and slowly start to earn your place on the team, all right? So hazing, yes, that takes place because guys want to know what you're made of, right? They're going to push those buttons. They want to know, hey, when shit gets real, this dude is down and he could do work. If you can't, you're not going to be on the team long, right? Hopefully that answered your question, guys. Let's keep reading. Can an old ruck cause difficult back pains? I can squat, run at a very good level. Guys, you got to make sure your gear is on point, right? Go out and buy a new ruck. If that ruck is not up to par and it's causing additional damages, then why use it, right? So yes, guys, if your equipment is not where it needs to be, it can cause undue injuries, right? So go out and get a new ruck, man. All right, next question. Would having gone through bad depression for years without quitting help in SFAS, the Q course, and ODA life? Well, yeah, man, it shows your resiliency. It shows your ability to handle adversity and not quit and keep pushing through. That's exactly the type of stuff that we're looking for. Because guess what's going to happen when you go through selection? You're going to get kicked in the balls. You're going to go through a bunch of different shit. Now, the intent is to have you push through all that adversity and come out on the other end, right? Hopefully that answered your question. All right, let's move on to the next one. Video on real estate while you were a group. Yes, I will work on those for you. If you're not aware, throughout my entire stay over a third group, I had a real estate portfolio that I was managing. Why? Because I wanted to get to the point where I am now, to where I am financially free and don't give a fuck about what anybody has to say or do because I'm not bound by a job. I could come out here, shoot YouTube videos, and tell people to fuck off and not worry about it because I have a real estate portfolio that's taking care of me and my family, all right? So yes, I will work on those for you. Next question, guys. Thoughts on 20th and 19th group. I've answered this before in the last video. They are SF guys just like we are. They go through selection. They go through the Q course. If anything, I think it's harder for those dudes because they have to manage 2 careers, right? All right, guys, what did most of your mission consist of? So my first deployment, we did village stability operations. That is a true unconventional warfare mission to where we were put in a village, just my team and we lived amongst the locals and did work. After that, all of my missions were commandos to where we had a company of commandos from the Afghan National Army and we just went around conducting raids. I did that for 2012, 2014, prior to becoming a team sergeant. All right, next question, guys. What were the best traits that you observed amongst fresh 18 alphas? Guys, as an 18 alpha, the best thing that I ever saw in mines were their ability to listen and observe. All right, you got to understand, as an 18 alpha, you're in a very unique positions where a lot of different things could take place. All right. Yes, you're the leader of the team. All right. You lead it. Me as the team sergeant, I run it. Right. So, but you got to understand, you're a new guy just like all the other MOSs, right? You're new to SF. So that team sergeant has a lot more experience than you do, right? So you still have to stand in front of the men and lead, but you also got to know when to talk to that team sergeant and get feedback. So what we did when I had my team was we would have like the top 3. We would have meetings amongst ourselves before we presented to the dudes to make sure we were all on the same page. So myself, the warrant, and the team leader, we would have meetings on the regular. Hey, like, Captain, what's your freaking guidance? Like, what do you want us to do? Like, what's your plan? 3 months, 6 months, a year out? Like, what's your end state? He would give me his fucking marching orders. Hey, I want to become the best shooting team in the company, right? Bam, got it. Now, me as the team sergeant, it's my job to take that information, come up with a plan to make it a reality, right? So he leads, he provides guidance, I make it happen. And the warrant, yeah, we're not going to talk about the warrant, all right? Next question. All right, any prep program for RAS that you recommend? I would say go check out 18 Alpha Fitness, all right? He has a bunch of different programs over there that you can choose from. Kevin over there will take care of you. But as far as anyone else, he's the only one that I know in the industry that's doing a fine job. All right, next question, guys. Share a story about the toughest obstacle you had to overcome as a Green Beret. Guys, the toughest obstacle I had to overcome as a Green Beret was probably when I had that ND on the range, right? I was the team sergeant. So when it happened to me, it was demoralizing, right? The guys rallied around me, but I had to fire myself, right? I had to remove myself from the team and uphold that standard that I had established on that team. Because if I try to play it off as, hey, nobody saw that, then I would, one, destroy the standards, and it would also lead to the guys, talking behind my back like, hey, double standard. It happened to him and he didn't get fired. Now why are you firing me when I do it, right? So that was probably the toughest thing that I had to do, was own up to that fuck up and remove myself from my team whenever it happened. So that probably was the toughest thing that I've had to overcome whenever I was in SF. The fact that I owned up to it, called my leaders, told them what happened, led to me getting my first sergeant job, and everything worked out, right? So magical things happen when you own your fuck ups. Let's move on, guys. All right, next question. Advice for non-selected NCO told to go gain more experience in the regular Army and come back, right? Hey, pretty self-explanatory. Go back to the big Army and gain some more experience, right? What I would do if I was you, if you haven't gone to your Ranger school, your Sapper school, volunteer for those and go, right? If you haven't been put in any leadership roles, volunteer for those and execute. You need to gain experience in the form of leading soldiers, in the form of, going out to the field and running field exercises, right? And then just practice briefing. Every chance you get to get in front of a group of people, do it, right? So that would be my advice to you, man. Ranger school, Sapper school, get you a squad, lead major projects, and then reapply and go execute, right? Last question. What is my body count? Guys, I don't keep count when I'm downrange doing work. Collectively as a team, we know how much work we've done throughout that entire trip, but none of my individual teammates could say, hey, I got 5. Oh, I got 20. We don't do that shit, right? We go downrange, we do work, we come back, and as a team, we know how good we did. Check it out, guys. I hope this episode was helpful. Valentine's Day. Make sure you do something nice for your spouse, for your kids. Again, every Wednesday, we have our own hero building machine going on to where we are providing someone that's done some amazing shit that you, the viewer, can look up to and emulate, right? So send me your recommendations. Next Wednesday, we'll be right back here answering your question and also introducing you to the hero of the week. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video.